Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're launching a full-scale investigation into the world of process mining. But, we aren't just looking at the final shiny analysis today. No, we're going deep into the foundation of it all, data ingestion. It's a pretty well-known fact in the industry that the vast majority of process mining initiatives actually fail, not because of poor analytics, but because the foundational data was just flawed right from the start. So we're going to uncover exactly how we gather the correct telemetry data needed to make process mining actually work. Think of this explainer as your ultimate training manual for solving those operational mysteries hidden deep within your company's daily workflows. Okay, let's dive right into this. Every single organization has them. You know what I'm talking about? Those hidden organizational bottlenecks that dramatically slow down work, completely frustrate your employees, and just quietly drain the company's budget. These are the operational culprits we're trying to catch. But here's the thing. These bottlenecks don't just, announce themselves on a quarterly report. They hide. They hide within the millions of tiny interconnected interactions happening in your workflows every single day. Picture a standard procurement loop, right? On the surface, looks totally fine. But hidden underneath is this redundant approval cycle that accidentally adds like 3 whole days to every single order. To catch sneaky inefficiencies like that, we need a rigorous, systematic approach to uncover what is truly hiding inside your business processes.
Section 1. Event Logs, the Foundation.
Every good investigation has to start at the scene of the crime, right? Before we can analyze a single workflow, we have to gather the historical telemetry that's been left behind. In the digital world, we call this event log data. Think of event logs as the digital footprints left behind literally every time a user, or even an automated script, completes a task. It is the absolute telemetry of each step completed within a business process. To be super specific, a true event log requires this sort of holy trinity of data points: a case ID to track the specific item, an activity name detailing what actually happened, and a timestamp showing exactly when it occurred. A successful process mining project relies entirely on this historical event log data. It's the magic ingredient. It's what gives us the power to see how things actually execute in reality, rather than how a process map, just assumes they work.
Moving on to Section 2, Why Granularity Matters Most.
And this brilliantly illustrates our next point. Now that we have our digital footprints, we really need to pull out the magnifying glass. Because honestly, in this kind of analysis, broad strokes simply won't help us solve the case. We need detail. If an event log only captures a broad step, like say invoice approval, you're effectively left staring at a black box. You know an invoice went in and it came out, but you have zero idea what happened in between. But zoom in, and that single approval might actually consist of 5 to 10 critical micro steps. It could involve document verification, budget checks, managerial sign-offs, compliance routing, the whole shebang. If we only have the broad view, process mining just can't pinpoint anything hiding inside that larger process. Ultimately, deeper analysis absolutely requires highly granular telemetry. When you're identifying data to ingest into process mining tools, having access to this micro-level data is what gives you true, actionable visibility. Without it, well, companies inevitably end up optimizing the completely wrong part of the process, which is just wasting massive amounts of time and resources chasing ghosts. The more granular the track of the steps, the more power your process mining analysis has to find exactly where the process is breaking down, and that is exactly how you catch and eliminate the real bottleneck.
Next up, Section 3, Simple versus Complex Sources.
So the investigation is moving forward. We know we need granular event logs, but where do these logs actually live? Well, sometimes you get incredibly lucky, and it's basically an open and shut case. In a simple process, your event log data might come entirely from a single source. For example, your customer relationship management, or CRM system. If you're analyzing a totally contained sales or service process, every single activity might be perfectly tracked right there in that one isolated system. You just extract the logs and boom, you're ready to go. However, the surprising and maybe a little frustrating reality is that less than 15% of enterprise processes actually fit into this lucky single source category.
Let's move to the next point and see how this builds, because in reality, modern workflows rarely live in just one system. In more complex processes, your telemetry spans multiple systems of record. Think about a modern end-to-end sales cycle for a second. Step 1, the pre-sales interaction might be logged in your CRM. Step 2, the actual order fulfillment might be tracked in a completely different legacy internal system. And Step 3, you might have to deal with a partner or external application, like SAP. Actually, these external ERPs are notoriously tricky because you have to navigate highly specific, really rigid database tables just to extract the event log data they can provide. Getting a clear, chronological timestamp out of them, yeah, not always straightforward. To get the complete picture, you have to painstakingly track the footprints across all of these disparate environments. It's a real puzzle.
Section 4, the art of consolidation.
So the crucial point is, when your data is scattered across multiple systems, you have to bring it all together. It's basically time to build our detective's evidence board and organize all this disparate data into a single, unified stream. Now, your consolidation method directly depends on your volume. For lower volumes of data, leveraging the Power Query capabilities right inside the Microsoft Power Automate Process Mining add-on really does the trick beautifully. It's super efficient and contained. But if you scale that up to a highly complex source landscape, say if you're pulling millions of rows of data from 10 different systems of record, you're going to need dedicated pre-processing. In that case, you'd consolidate all of those streams into a single Azure data lake, which the process mining system then ingests. This just ensures the analytical engine doesn't get bogged down by the sheer weight of all that raw data.
Finally, Section 5, teaming up for success. Now, tracking down data across CRMs, internal systems, and Azure data lakes, that is a massive, highly technical undertaking. A solo detective simply cannot identify and pull all this specialized data alone. As the source material directly advises, and I quote, "As a team, you should identify the data sources and what data needs to be collected." This highlights an absolutely crucial truth. Identifying data to extract for your event logs is a deeply collaborative effort. You have to work hand in hand with the broader process mining team, and we're talking data engineers, process owners, and business analysts, to map out exactly where the data is hidden and what specific telemetry is actually required for the project to succeed.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that inevitably, when you bring this cross-functional team together, you'll discover a pretty frustrating reality. Sometimes the data is just missing. In many cases, your systems of record simply won't collect adequate telemetry right out of the box. The timestamps might be repeatedly overwritten, or the specific user IDs might not be properly logged at all. When that happens, your team actually needs to request and then build system enhancements. You literally have to actively reconfigure the software so that those records can finally produce the adequate granular telemetry you need. This is a huge takeaway for us. Process mining often requires you to fix your data collection before you can ever even start analyzing your workflows.
We've really seen today that successful process mining isn't just about, plugging a workflow into a shiny piece of software. It's about doing the hard, rigorous work of finding, refining, and consolidating highly granular event logs. So I'm going to leave you with this provocative question to think about. Look at your own company's workflows. Is your system's data telling the whole story, or is it just scratching the surface? Uncovering the answer to that might take some serious detective work, but once your data tells the whole truth, there is absolutely no bottleneck you can't solve. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy investigating.